Hello there, everyone. Before we start, I would like to say that there is some background noise in this video, so I'm sorry about that. And please be respectful, for this is a U.S. veteran, and he was in the Navy. So if you have any questions for him, put it in the comments, and I might do a video where I ask him some, or he can answer them in the comments by himself. So if you like these type of interviews, please like, so it shows support that I should do more. And without further ado, let's begin the interview.
Gosh, it was like going into a major hotel. They had everything. Everything was perfect. And if you have a family, you're not going to see them for 6 to 8 months. The night we left, we got rammed by a destroyer that actually killed 2 people. My name is James Brum. I'm 77 years old. I was born April 6, 1945. World War II was still going then. I joined the Navy while I was still in high school in 1962 in Navy Reserves right after the Cuban Missile Crisis. I graduated in high school in 1963. I had gone to boot camp at Great Lakes. We did a 2 weeks active duty on a patrol craft escort out of Indiana, Michigan City, Indiana. I went active duty in March of 1964, and I left Detroit and went to Philadelphia. Got a flight from there after 2 weeks, and we flew to Rota, Spain. And from there, I flew to Barcelona, Spain, and got aboard the USS Shangri-La, which is a World War II aircraft carrier. It was back when Jimmy Doolittle in World War II had bombed Tokyo. They asked him where he flew from, and he said, "We left from Shangri-La," which was a mythical city in China. So anyways, that's how the ship got its name, and it was commissioned 1944. It was had many bombing raids into Japan and Tokyo, and it was there at the surrender. I was aboard the ship for 2 years with VF-13, Fighter Squadron 13. We had F-3B Demons, and then we switched to the F-8U Crusader, the fighter plane. Our ports of call was Barcelona, Marseille, France, Cannes, France. I went into Palma, Spain, which is an island. We went to Istanbul, up into Edi, Livorno, and up by, I went to Pisa. So mostly the Mediterranean for 2 years. Vietnam was just starting up, and our ship was a World War II plane ship, and it could not carry the heavy Phantom planes that they wanted. Our planes aboard ship were the F-8 Crusaders, the A-1, A-4 Skyhawks, and then the A-1H Raiders, which was a World War II propeller-driven airplane. They kept that because it could carry 12,000 pounds of bombs. So we did that. We did 2 Mediterranean cruises. We did a cruise down to the Caribbean, down through the Bahamas. We went to St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, beautiful place to go. And Florida, we were based at Cecil Field, Florida.
So those were all the places where you went?
Pretty much. There's a couple other cities I've we went to, but overall, we went to Rhodes, Greece. We did not make it to Athens. We had left Italy, and the night we left, we got rammed by a destroyer that actually killed 2 people on a destroyer. And we sat 41 days in dry dock repairing the hole in the side of the ship.
What should people know about the Navy?
The Navy is very good if you want to go out and travel. There's times you will be possibly stationed in one of the port cities, like Mayport. The Navy does allow you to get out and travel, much more than, say, the Air Force or the Army. Army usually will send you somewhere like for a year, 18 months. But aboard ship, like I said, we were hitting Barcelona, we were hitting Spain, Italy, France, Turkey, Greece, in the Mediterranean. When you go into the Pacific, you go to the Philippines, Japan. They used to go into down around China, but they don't let them in anymore. So Malaysia, Vietnam, Hawaii, and the California cities. So you get out, you see, and it's not boring. And there's many ratings that you can take. Ratings are what you're going to do. It's like you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, something like that. In the Navy, you want to be a machinist, you want to be a medic, all different ratings that you can use when you get out. And the pay now is a heck of a lot better than it was. I got $46 every 2 weeks when I went in. And now those recruits are getting like $950 a month, which is a big difference from when I was in.
So what was it like working in the Navy?
It was good. Usually you work 10 to 12-hour days, but they weren't that bad, depending on your rating. I did aircraft maintenance control. I scheduled the airplanes to be repaired. So if it was an avionics problem or a physical sheet metal thing, we all had different ratings that would take care of it.
So why did you join the military?
I always felt the urge to go, and I liked the Navy. I didn't want to go in the Army. Vietnam, of course, was not going back then. And during the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Navy and the Marine Corps did most of the stuff you saw on TV. So I leaned towards the Navy, and I thought it would be better than, of course, crawling around the mud in the Army or the Marines.
All right. What are the good and bad things about the Navy?
The bad things is when you go on cruise, and if you have a family, you're not going to see them for 6 to 8 months. The good thing is, if you're single, you get to go out and see all these things, different cities, different countries, and you get to meet people from the U.S. all over. I had guys from Louisiana, New York, Massachusetts, Ohio, Michigan, South Carolina, North Carolina. That was just our squadron. And Chicago, people were mostly very nice.
Were you in any wars, and if so, how did you contribute to
it? When Vietnam was just starting, I was in the base at Cecil Field in Jacksonville when the Subic, when the Gulf of Tonkin went down. Our ship was a World War II ship. It was too small. It was the biggest of the Essex class, but it couldn't carry the big planes. So, and at the time, there was fighting going on in the Mediterranean between different countries, Syria and that. So they always kept 2 aircraft carriers there and 4 in the Pacific. And then when the war started, pretty much in Vietnam, they kept more ships and squadrons. Our squadron, after I left, because I got out in 2 years, they eventually did go to Vietnam on another ship. They rotated them.
Where was the best place you went to during the Navy and why?
Barcelona, Spain, and St. Thomas. Now, St. Thomas had a lot of poor people in it that you went through, and they would hustle you, try to get money. It was beautiful there. The Caribbean was just as turquoise blue as you could imagine and warm. Barcelona, Spain was probably the cleanest and the most beautiful city I saw while I was there. I did get up to Paris. I did go to Germany. I took a train from Cannes, France, up into Paris, and then we went to Germany, Mannheim. I saw the Alps and everything, but the Barcelona I thought was the best. Even Cannes was very for rich people. They didn't really want the sailors there. You were restricted where you went. Marseille was just an average city. Italy was nice, but I thought it was old, very old, and not real clean.
All right.
Streets and whatever.
Is there a story in the Navy that you remember that you want to tell?
Let's see. What do we do? Well, the night we got hit by the destroyer, that we were out in the Straits of Messina, which is separates Sicily, the island of Sicily, from the boot section of Italy. When we hit that, the destroyer rammed us. We were the carrier, and we always had escorts. And at night we would practice zigzagging along. Well, we zigged, he zagged, bam, ran in the side of us, bent his bow right over, complete like that. And there was a guy in there going to the bathroom in a forward. We called the bathrooms a head. And he got crushed in there. And it took them 18 hours to get him out. And then he died at a hospital in Palermo, Sicily.
Wow.
And at night, at sea, it is unbelievably black. When you go outside, and the stars were unbelievable, but you could hold your hand in front of your face and you couldn't see it. That's how black it was.
Wow.
And when we were in Italy too, I got to go see Pompeii, which was the one destroyed by the volcano, Mount Vesuvius. That is a trip. If anybody ever goes to Italy, go there. It's unbelievable now compared to what it was then.
Wow. How did the Navy affect your life?
I enjoyed it. Simple.
Has the Navy changed you any way? If you didn't go to the Navy, would you be a different person?
Yes. Because it got me out from home after high school. You got out to see the world. You see how people lived. I mean, even if you didn't have money back in the 50s and 60s, you still could get food and stuff. And people in some of the countries there, Sicily, pretty much Sicily, Italy, some of them, they got nothing. I mean, it's unbelievable how they live. Especially St. Thomas, as beautiful as that is, the poor back then, maybe now still, are unbelievably poor. Grass shacks, scavenged tin to build a house or a shed. It's not a house, it's just a lean-to, and running around begging for money. And once you give them $1, holy cow, you got 200 people on you all wanting $1, so you try not to do anything.
And how did that change you, seeing how everyone lived?
Well, then you realize what you had here was so much better. And I mean, you still got to work for a living here. If you sit on your butt, you're not going to get much. Nowadays, everybody or a lot of people expect everything handed to them. Back then, I came home, I went to work, and I always worked. Very little time did I ever have off.
What advice do you have for people that are joining the military or Navy?
Go Air Force or Coast Guard?
Why?
Because Air Force, when I got off active duty, I was flying air crew and transports, which would be like a load master in the Air Force. In the Navy, I would go and you had to do weight and balances, make sure your cargo, you didn't have too much in the tail or too much in the front. You had to balance out the load, you had to figure in the fuel. Gasoline weighs 2 pounds a gallon, just over 2 pounds a gallon. You got to figure how much are in each wing, where it's at, and if you get the tail too heavy, the pilots can't control it. It wants to go up and it'll stall. If you get the nose too heavy, pilots got a problem with hitting the ground. So, but I enjoyed that, and we flew all over the country and to Cuba, Guantanamo Bay. And these were airplanes, C-54s, that had flown in World War II. Now I'm talking 1960s. 1960s. So the planes back then, our plane, the one we used, had a thing that it flew over the hump, which was taking materials, food, clothing, maybe ammunition, and the hump was flying over the mountain ranges into China, which would be Mount Everest and all them. They had to go through it. That's flying the hump.
Do you have anything to tell everyone watching this about the Navy and what it was like working for the U.S. military?
It was good. You all had a job. After you go through basic training, which teaches you how to survive if there's a fire aboard ship, how to abandon ship, how to swim, what to do in case of emergencies. It teaches you an awful lot. It helps you grow up because you get out and you meet people. Believe it or not, just in school, you're in a very small section. Count your friends. How many you got? You got hundreds? No. You got mostly your family, and then those you know in school. And when you leave school, very rarely are you going to see those people again. Maybe 3 to 4 that might keep contact with you, whether they're going to college or military or taking a trade school. And believe it or not, you can make more money as a plumber or as a carpenter in a lot of places than you can with a college degree.
Wow.
So you can learn, and you can always do that work. I did welding and stuff when I got out, machinist, welding, tool and die. So I had a trade I could take anywhere. Some of these guys that have no real skills. I mean, think about a carpenter. You can build furniture, you can do the houses inside, you can work for yourself. A plumber, you can do the same thing, work for yourself, do something. You want to be able to control what you do. Military will give you a thing. Why I said the Air Force, when I went from the Navy flying in, after I was off active duty, flying into the bases, gosh, it's like going into a major hotel. They had everything. Everything was perfect. Bunks, You get aboard ship, they give you a little area enough to squeeze in, and you got a locker that's only about 2 feet by 15 inches, and you put all your stuff into there. You learn to fold them, roll them. Air Force had it made. Coast Guard, rarely will you go out of the country if you got a family in it, and they really teach you to rescue people, to be someone that matters. You can become an EMT, many things.
All right. Well, thank you for answering these questions.